the uppercut? You want the straight?
Whatever hurts him, man.
I want you to slap it, actually. I want you to slap because I'm tired of getting hurt, but however you want it, just give it to some sweet scientists. We got Daniel, the Miracle Man Jacobs.
I'm putting that pivot on the back foot.
Oh, you're going to pivot on it. This is nothing, you know. Because I do this.
Well, you got you right. You the first guy to sit him in the chair.
I do this.
I mean, what?
I was tired.
What, right?
I was tired.
We from Brooklyn, we're scrapping, it's part of life. So we happen to be the type of journalists to start a fight. I was raised in Gleason's, I was in the precinct, but I beat the case with my sweet pea defense. You drinking if you think you beating us. If I have to, I'ma put on Margarito's gloves. I'm in the Barclays like I own it. What you expected? The way I seized the moment, they thought I was epileptic. The fight game can't survive without me. I throw shots that make fighters spit out their mouthpiece. Never days off, only days on. I represent the hood like I'm Trayvon. These moments in boxing are so proper, like when Floyd told Oscar he beat his whole roster. It's our action that speaks the loudest. Though we the sweet scientists, there ain't nothing sweet about us.
Okay, fight fans, this is another edition of the Sweet Scientist on thisis50.com. And we're really excited. It's been tough to get this guy, you know what I mean? But he always comes through eventually, you know what I mean?
Life of the champ.
The Miracle Man, Daniel Jacobs, man. One time for Danny Jacobs, man. Happy that. Yo, first thing I want to ask is, how has your life changed since the Triple G fight?
I think the fan base has definitely grew a lot more. A lot of people have reached out to me and wanted to support me throughout the rest of my career. A lot of people are pulling for me for the rematch. A lot of people thought I won that fight. Actually, majority of people that I reached out to me actually thought I won the fight. And I mean, just being recognized throughout wherever I go.
Right.
How did you feel about Showtime? I mean, HBO talking about, oh, you know, we felt like whoever won the last round won the fight. But meanwhile, we sitting there like, you won the last round. Like,
and even the last round, I just thought that they had the scorecards wrong leading up to it because I didn't think I had to win the last round of the fight. Right. I thought I won by at least 3 rounds, but if you wanted to be a little biased or if you wanted to give a courtesy round, I thought I won by 2 rounds.
I scored 8-4. Right.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what? If I thought maybe I was being biased because I'm from Brooklyn as well. Right. And I said if it was 7-5, it would have been a draw. But I really, you outboxed him.
Right.
You outboxed him. There was rounds where you really outlanded him. You can't really always rely on that CompuBox.
Right. And let's look at the bigger picture. Right. Let's look at the bigger picture. I was not supposed to do all that I've done that night.
Right. Oh man.
I dismantled the king.
Right. Killer.
The boogeyman. And what I did was I showed people exactly what I bring to the table. Right. Who I am, true competitor, best middleweight in the world.
Right. Well, you know, being in the fight is tough, right? I mean, you have to go home, watch the fight, really analyze it. But going into the 12th round, I don't remember what I heard, what Andre said to you, but did you feel like, yo, I got to close the show, like, or did you really genuinely felt like you were ahead in the fight?
Well, I genuinely felt like I was ahead in the fight, and no matter what, if I'm in the 12th round, if I'm in the final round, going into that last bell, I always want to give it my all because I always like to close the show. Right. So that's just me in general. So I always felt like, even coming into that last round, I just wanted to win that fight to put the icing on the cake to kind of seal the deal. But I still thought I was up at least by a round or 2.
You know, so did we. Round. You know, I'm gonna be honest. On social media, a lot of people, I guess, can recognize who I have relationships with more so than other fighters, even though we're journalists. But obviously, guys like yourself, you know, Danny Garcia, a couple other guys that we have a personal relationship. So I'm gonna be biased. It's human nature, but I try to be nice.
You don't lie about it.
Right. No, I mean, yo, you know, I know the guy personally. I like him. I'm sorry, I might lean towards him, but I still sit back and look at the fight as a boxing journalist. Of course. But I got so much hate before that fight. Like, yo, Danny's gonna get knocked out in 5 rounds, 4 rounds in my barber shop. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh my God, I know Danny's your boy, but he's about to get ripped. So I'm saying to myself, I'm about to pop this shit, but Danny better do at least look good in there. But I mean, honestly, yeah, first thing I want to say, I'm proud of you, like real proud. We actually had to do a post-fight show on SiriusXM Live, so we had to watch it from the studio because it has to start right away. Yeah. And yo, we were in there like, yo, Danny's doing it. He's doing it. He's
Crazy.
doing it.
Everybody.
And listen,
The whole arena was shocked, and
right.
everybody was just, it was quiet. They were trying to cheer him on and get him riled up, but everybody from the starting bell, you seen the fear, not the fear, but the respect.
Right.
You seen the respect. You didn't see the Triple G that you normally see.
Right.
You know, we've seen a totally different Triple G. We've seen some of the best Daniel Jacobs we possibly seen that night. I dismantled him. I can go back and say I could have done things differently, but when you don't know, meaning when they make this guy up to be the biggest thing in the world, you're like, okay, let me test the waters. And Abel Sanchez said, we ought to stop him in about the 7th or 8th round. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to preserve some of this energy for the 7th or 8th round, just in case they try to come on strong. And once the 7th or 8th round came, I said, this, you know, it's just an illusion. This guy isn't really built up what it is, you know?
That's the way you made him look. Did you feel like you won the crowd over, like Rocky did against the Russian?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of family and friends, a lot of people who support me said they were going against Triple G fans inside the crowd, but by the end of the night, they were cheering for me, or they gave respect to you know, whoever that was.
You know what I got a problem with when people say he exposed Triple G, because then that makes it seem like he's not such a good fighter.
Exactly.
I don't like that, because listen, I mean, you know, Triple G showed that he's a hard puncher, a skilled boxer. He did it against Lemieux. So why not give you more credit to say, wow, Danny's that good? It's not that he exposed a guy that couldn't fight.
Exactly.
He just,
you're just that good.
Right, you're just that good, and you guys are at an elite level. And look, a lot of the rounds, some of the rounds were hard to score. It depends on what the judges were looking for. I don't think he landed enough clear shots to give him the fight. So I did give you the edge. Obviously, the knockdown affected the scorecards, but your stock went up. It's obvious since that loss. What's the first thing that Al Heyman said to you after that fight?
I mean, first of all, he congratulated me, told me I did a phenomenal job. He didn't think I lost the fight. And he said, just like what you guys said, your stock doesn't go down. We're going to continue to climb that ladder, and we're going to move forward. You know, he wasn't disappointed whatsoever. He just said, you know the boxing game, and you know that, you know, just like what I said after the post-fight interview.
I was so surprised you said that.
I killed it with kindness, though.
No,
you know me. I'm not really like one of those aggressive guys that, oh, you guys did it. But I still.
No, you still said it though.
What he said?
I did it. I had to put it out there.
He had to say it was because of the Canelo.
But that's,
you know,
I mean,
that influence. It was almost like, you know, with Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Sturm. You know, like, come on, he was about to fight Bernard Hopkins for $10 million.
Right.
You know, so you threw that out there, but then you kind of sugarcoated it. And I was like, damn, I'm surprised he said that.
But I don't think it was that bad. Everybody knows it. I mean, the fight they've been brewing for 2 years. So think about it. And then, not to mention HBO. You know, I like Max and those guys over there, but they've been putting this guy on a pedestal. So they, you know, if they say anything negative or he loses, they look bad. They look like they've been pushing the wrong guy. You know what I mean? So either way, I still all credit to Triple G, because he fought a hell of a guy and fought his ass off too to the end. You know what I mean? As far as the power, you've mentioned it after the fight that it wasn't what it was cracked up to be, so to speak. I mean, outside of the knockdown, did any other shot hurt you in the fight?
Even a knockdown shot didn't hurt me. I think that was more of an off-balance shot than anything. I did realize that I did get hit, and that's why I didn't complain when I got up. But for some reason, it was like I was off balance. Like I was just, and then I just round up on the ground. But I remember trying to pull him because I remember feeling the force. And I was like, okay, well, let me get up. I know the referee thinks this is a knockdown. Let me not complain. Let me just go ahead and try to not survive the round, but, you know, not try to win the round, because I already know I lost it. So I just wanted to just stay there and just, you know. And I was in southpaw too. See, I'm good at southpaw. I'm better orthodox. I'm good at southpaw. So certain things I have to learn how to perfect. Boxing is a forever going learning experience. You can't just master one thing. So those are some of the flaws, and it showed. And me being off balance was one of the things that happened, causing a knockdown. But even so, with the knockdown, they still had him winning. If you take away the knockdown, they still had this guy winning, which is absurd to me.
Have you guys had any words since then after the fight, outside of the ring? I know fighters greet each other after the fight, but did you say anything to him?
No, I didn't get a chance to see him. But I'm a fan of Triple G. You know, me and my son love to watch him fight. I've always respect anybody that I step in the ring with.
Prior to fighting, you've always showed that respect for Triple G.
At any fighter, it's not just Triple G. It's any fighter. Quillen, any opponent that I've stepped in the ring with, I've always showed the ultimate respect.
But has your team, Al Heyman, or anybody entertained the thought of a rematch?
Of course. We wanted an immediate rematch, but obviously, you know, we know their plans.
Right.
And we know the boxing game, and we just have to accept that and play our part until the opportunity comes again.
It's, you know, as far as money, right? I mean, you're obviously at a place in your career where you're making more money. I always wondered with you, like if you go out to eat with your boys, or family, do they always expect you to take care of the bill? I mean, does anybody ever fake dig in their pocket like like me? I'm good for that.
Let me go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at Danny like, is he gonna pull out that card out now? Like, I got the tip. You know, do you go through that now at this point?
Not really. No, I'm fortunate to have a really small circle.
Yeah, obviously you roll light.
He came here by himself.
Yeah.
So I don't really.
And his gun, he got a gun.
So don't try anything.
No, but I'm fortunate to not have guys who leech off me, not have guys who are influenced off of my success.
But have you ever been in that situation? Like, come on, man. I know I got a few dollars, but damn, do I always have?
Hey, shout out to my two best friends. Like every time we go out to eat, we always split the bill, no matter where it is.
Really?
Like we can go to Starbucks or we can go to the top restaurant in New York City, and we'll always.
So you stingy? You don't ever want to pay the whole bill?
I'm the cheapest dude in the world. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? No, you know what? I'm not cheap. I'm conservative.
Okay.
Right? Very conservative.
You're thinking about after boxing.
Right, because you got to understand, I was in a position before where I was living the lavish lifestyle when I first came on the scene, and I got deals and I got major sponsorships, and I was getting money, and I was like living that fast life. And when I lost it all, especially after during the cancer stage, you know, I started to realize like I had to make smarter decisions, and you know, now it's just like, you know,
yeah. For those who don't know, Danny was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
five years.
Yeah,
diagnosed with what type of cancer?
Osteosarcoma.
And that's a tumor around the spine.
Yeah, no, it's a bone cancer.
Oh, okay, bone.
Yeah, but what happened was I had a tumor that was wrapped around my spine and left me paralyzed from the waist down. Couldn't box, couldn't walk.
Incredible story.
Couldn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, and the doctors, they said that you probably wouldn't be able to walk again.
Yeah, they said you won't have your nerves 100%, so you won't walk properly.
So you definitely won't be able to fight again, according to them.
And definitely fighting is out the picture.
It's out the picture.
You had some severe surgery on your spine.
It could have came close to death, though. You were overseas or something?
Bro, I was 2-3 days away from dying.
Really?
Because it was a Thursday, no, it was a Friday that I was, the very last day that I was, remember my godmother came to the door, to my door, and I had to crawl. And when she came, she seen me and took me to the hospital after seeing my, situation. But I was gonna go to the hospital on that Monday, which is the crazy thing. The doctor told me after doing all of the tests that if you would have came in Monday, at the pace that the tumor was growing, your heart would have failed. You wouldn't have made it until Monday. So you blessed to be.
So this is God's plan. You know what I mean?
I believe so.
And not only, obviously, you did more than walk. You became a world champion. You know what I mean? And you fought the boogeyman recently.
I beat the boogeyman.
Yes. In my opinion, you did as well. I mean, what now? Because are you at the point where you only want big fights, huge fights against guys that people know?
Absolutely. This is the point and stage where people recognize me as a superstar fighter. They don't want to see me against guys that they don't know. Right. They want to see exciting fights against the best fighters.
But who's out there? Who's really out there?
I mean, there's a handful of guys.
Billy Joe Saunders.
You got Billy Joe. You got Chris Eubanks Jr. You got.
So you're willing to move up? Are you willing to move?
No, he's at 160.
He's at 160.
He's at 168.
No,
168. Nah. He
You
just
got
pops a lot of smack.
Canelo. So I mean, those are a handful of guys, but you at least got those guys.
Right. Those are big money fights.
All of those are big money fights.
You ever see yourself training fighters? I mean, do you ever do some pads?
I really think I'll be the best trainer that there is in the game.
Why is that?
Your son doesn't say that.
You know, I argue with my trainer Andre about it all the time because I was like, I know this game. You don't know this game. Like I've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
So I don't know, when you're in there and you see things and you know what you want to be said to you during a certain time, you remember those things, and certain tactics and training regimens that you remember that's beneficial to you and your style.
Right.
I just see it, and I remember one day putting to the test. I was training with Saddam and was teaching Saddam certain things, and
Ali?
as he was, Saddam Ali, sorry, and he was working on it, and certain other fighters as well. I'll just yell out certain things, but if I really think I gave it my all, I think I'll be a really good trainer, but I don't want to waste my time.
So how was it? One of your last fights was Kid Chocolate.
Yeah.
And
you ended up on the upside of that.
Yeah.
Was that a little awkward? I mean, maybe probably more awkward for him, but was that a little awkward?
Oh, because he was over
being in
there.
the camp,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
in the same facility at the time.
It wasn't awkward for me at all. I mean,
Yeah,
I
because you
think.
knocked him out, I guess. Yeah.
No.
He's
It's just
a great guy.
He's a great guy. You gotta love PD.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
That's when you know, like, if you're mature, if you're a man, if you understand that it's just a sport, and you can be able to just look a man in his eye who's defeated you,
right,
and still be happy, still go about your business.
He's on another level.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a humble
Yeah.
dude, and he wants to go. I mean, he's moving up. He says he's moving up to 68, maybe. So I don't think we've seen the last of him.
No, he has a new chapter.
Yeah.
Would you give
going
him
to
the
68.
rematch?
I will give PD the rematch. I think I don't know the likelihood of that.
Right,
I mean,
right,
he's
right.
in a different weight class than that.
Right.
But it's something that I'm not too far-fetched thinking. Good luck to him.
Anybody in this sport that you really don't like, honestly? Because I always ask
Like,
guys
don't
that are
like?
nice. Yeah, like I always ask guys that are nice, like PD, guys that are well-spoken.
Sean Porter. all of the nice
respectful guys.
Respectful
But you guys are still dogs in there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is anybody that you really dislike personally in the sport?
Like you
Whether it be trainer, fighter,
And like, say
judge.
their name right now. Like,
And
I don't like you. Like,
And not the judges that judge the Triple G fight. You know what I'm saying? but
Nobody's
anybody.
listening. Hold on, shut the
Right.
camera off. Shut the camera off for a second.
But we want to know who really ticks you off.
You know what? To
Honestly.
be honest with you, man, no one. And you know what? You know why? Because I think
That's AKA somebody he won't say, but it's all good.
I think because you know what's crazy? Because I've been in the amateurs with a lot of these guys that's running the boxing game right now. So it's a lot of respect. A lot of guys that I know that I've seen throughout the years. It's not like we all just came on the scene together. We don't know each other, and there's a guy that you might not like. Yeah, it's like we all have a brotherhood in a sense, and I can't say I dislike anybody.
But how do you feel about Lomachenko and
You
him
just
being
wanted
considered-
him to mention somebody. He don't like. You don't want to mention a writer.
listen, nobody likes him, but because he does a disservice to the sport. But Lomachenko, they talking about him being #1 in the world. Are you comfortable with that? With that, I mean, he has 8 fights. He's captured 2 world titles.
And he's lost.
Right, and he's lost to a journeyman. No disrespect to Salido. I give
called
him,
you a journeyman.
I give him credit.
No disrespect,
I give him credit for the Gary Russell and the Walters win, right? But does he deserve #1?
I don't feel personally that he deserves #1. For me, I don't really care too much for the rankings. I just feel like if fans respect you, they're gonna have you #1 anyway. If your true fans will support you. So fighters really shouldn't focus on those things. But as a fan of the sport, I don't see how he can be #1. I don't see how that could even be a valid conversation. I think Lomachenko.
Well, I agree with you, man.
I think he could be. I think he's a great fighter. He could be a Hall of Fame fighter easily, especially with the route that he's going with, capturing so much success so quickly.
So you're a Brooklyn guy.
Yes.
We're Brooklyn guys.
Yeah.
Are you always going to stay in Brooklyn? Are you going to spy up houses all over Brooklyn? Or
So
No,
I'm
who
always,
stays in Brooklyn?
are you going to Jersey like this guy? Which one? I'm still in Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah, that's because you fancy. You want
I'm
that
in
Park
Park
Slope
Slope.
life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been doing a little house shopping lately,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have a place in Brooklyn. I'm always gonna be a New Yorker, a Brooklynite. I'm always gonna have a base here, but I'm gonna be, suburbs somewhere here. I work hard. I want to be able to make sure get my son in
Maybe
a good
Jersey,
school.
Long Island, or something.
No, maybe
No?
maybe a little
A
south,
little further.
a little further south,
Florida or something.
somewhere
Hot
where it's
weather.
hot, maybe. Yeah, somewhere. where
Not
it's
the
hot.
West Coast, though, right?
No, definitely not the West Coast.
Oh,
I want to
so-
be at least maybe from an airplane ride, maybe at least 2
couple
hours,
hours, 2 or 3 hours
2 or 3
away.
hours,
I
yeah.
want to play the standing 8 with you before we go. First thing that comes to
things
your
in
mind.
one.
Yeah, you pick one of them.
All right, one.
Gucci, Louis,
Louis,
Barclays Center, The Garden,
Barclay,
Gatti, Corrales,
Gotti,
Tyson, Ali,
Tyson,
Knicks, Nets.
Ness,
I don't know, let's get him stuck a little. Neil
All
Long,
Brooklyn.
Neil Long, Halle Berry.
How you used to live in Brooklyn?
Halle Berry.
Okay, so she's from Brooklyn. We're going Howard.
Jay-Z, Biggie.
Biggie.
Last question, Effin' Vodka or Ciroc?
Well, I guess this is.
Better be effing. You got it right. All right, folks. Listen, Danny, before you go, what's next, man? What is Al talking about? Is their target? If Triple G's out of the question. Who do you want to get in the ring with next?
Right now, I'm just focused on interacting with some of the fans and ultimately, you know, see what's going to happen.
See what happens organically.
Yeah, but I just want to be there. I'm a fan of the sport.
You definitely be fighting for this year's up.
Of course, man.
Yeah, some guys take a long vacation after a good performance.
No. Well, I'm in my prime now. I want to take advantage of this, and with the last performance that I had, I want to keep it going.
But listen, it's been a pleasure to sit down with you. Look out for Danny, the Miracle Man Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs, he doesn't like to be called Danny. And you'll see him in the ring soon. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
This is 50.com, The Sweet Scientist, Ak and Barack.